Welcome to Deep Thought. Create an oasis in a negative desert. Create an oasis in a negative desert. So I started talking about negative energy yesterday and how it's so much out here. And I'm saying one solution to it, a basic solution, is an oasis. An oasis, right? Because what's an oasis in a desert? It's, the desert got all this sand around, heat, no water, but the oasis is that one part that you'll have trees growing, you have water and everything. Everyone needs that positive energy oasis. You need to, finding it can be hard. I'm just going to be real with you. Finding that positive energy oasis can be hard. And you know what? I could have called this "Find It," but in this time with everything going on, it can be tough. Now you might be able to go. You might have the right job. You might have the right social circle, right home life, and everything. And you might be able to go there and it's around some positive energy people. But an even more powerful thing is for you to create it. And when you create it, it's not based on everyone else. It's based on you. Because the reality is, depending on where you at, you might have to create it for yourself. And the oasis might literally be where you live. Let me say that again. It might be where you live. Now, if you live by yourself, oh yeah, that's a little bit easier. You might have to say, and even when you do that, you might have to say, okay, I'm cutting off my phone at a certain time, or I'm only taking calls from people at a certain time, a certain place, right? You might have to say, all right, I'm not going to watch the news during this time. Basically, your space. But let's be real. There's a lot of people not in that position. There's a lot of people. You either got roommates, they got family, they got something, or they could be in a negative. I use in the last one, I use the example of an apartment building. You could be in an apartment building, or if you even have a house, you could be in that neighborhood where there's just some negativity, negative energy. And let's be clear, that negative energy isn't limited to the hood or the trailer park or the res. It ain't limited to that. That negative energy, you could have just as much negative energy in a middle-class enclave in the suburbs. You can have just as much because the energy doesn't care about class. It don't care about class. It don't care about race. It don't care about your religion. Negative energy is negative energy from people, right? So whatever the case, you're going to have to create something now wherever you're at. Now, if you're living by yourself, it's easier to create an oasis. It's easier. But then if you living with family, you still can create one. It's just a little bit harder. Like you get some people, they might be in a house and they have, like some men might have a man cave. And, the woman, the wife, she might be smart enough to let him do his thing. And, or the woman might have her little lady cave. I haven't heard really that term, but you probably have some place where, that's her spot. He know to stay out of it. That's her oasis, I mean, and that's the thing. Create that spot where you live. That's your spot. That's your oasis, no matter what's happening, right? No matter what's happening. Like when my youngest son is with his mother, he actually has an oasis. Now it's positive around us and everything, but when he's with his mother, he actually has an oasis in their apartment. He has his spot. That's his spot in the apartment. Everybody, my oldest son and her, they just walk around, do their thing. My son got his spot. He got all his stuff in his one little spot. That's him. He got it laid out, almost got a boundary there and everything. That's his spot, right? You got to do the same thing. If you living with somebody, it might be that couch. It might, it might be just that easy chair. You just lean back in it. That's your oasis. Now, you create it. It could be even bigger. Like say, okay, you around all this negativity, but you create a friendship circle that, All the people in it are positive. And I'm gonna get more into that in the next episode. But that's your thing. That's your thing. You create it. You create it. Or you know what? You can create maybe an oasis just in where you travel. Like I would say I have a pretty good oasis. Now, usually in the mornings, first of all, unless my sons are over, I got the place to myself. And the people in my building are pretty calm. So that's pretty good. But then when I go out, where do I go? I go to the gym. Okay, that's an oasis. Is the gym I go to is actually connected to a church. They actually have church services there on Sundays. Every now and then, depending on the occasion, maybe one day during the week, depending on something, if it's something special. So it's and like I said, I'm not promoting any spiritual system, but it's a pretty much non-denominational Christian environment. They don't have crosses or anything, and they don't force anything down anybody's throat or say you got to practice it or even talk religion. But the people there are very positive overall, and that's the energy is positive. So okay, I'm there, right? It can work out. Then the stores I go to now, they so. So it's funny when I go to the stores. Like you get one store I might go to, positive energy. I got a couple stores I go to, like it's an Oasis. The people there are positive, right? And then, there's one store I go to, only a few individuals are positive, but I limit myself to the point where if I'm getting something, I only get on their line. I either get in their line or use the self-checkout. But I limit my interactions with anybody who don't carry that same positive energy. And even when I go to, like if I might go to a restaurant or something, I'm real funny about customer service. And it's like, okay, is this customer service where they're making me feel welcome? Or is this customer service that's like, oh, it's just pure business? If it's just pure business, they don't make me feel welcome or I feel some negative vibe, I don't eat in the place anymore. I don't care. You can get a burger anywhere. And buffalo wings, shit, I make my own. Go to one of the stores where it's grocery stores and just buy some. All right. But that's part of my oasis. Everything I do is part of my oasis, and who I spend time with, who I talk to, that's part of my oasis. I'm gonna get even deeper in this in the next podcast, but that's very important. You have to. There's so much negative energy. You got to be in a positive thing. Negative energy can kill you. Let me just say that negative energy can kill you. So you got to find that oasis in a negative desert. It's a very important piece. But I'm going to get deeper into it in the next podcast, all right? So anyway, peace and blessings, everyone.